I'm probably one of the few people left on this earth who has any excitement for this game. A lot of people were pissed at this game being a VR-only title, but I think it's genius. Being able to be in the suit as Tony Stark is something I think a lot of us have been dreaming about for years, ever since the Iron Man movie released in 2008. Then I heard there was a free demo of the game to download.
Fuck it.
I decided to dust off my PSVR, set it up in my bedroom, and get to work. I think one thing that the setup for this game does well is setting boundaries for your VR experience. It shows a boundary if you go out of the play zone, and that really helps for people who aren't used to VR. And also, this game does not have a 360 turn ability. You have to turn using the PlayStation Move controllers. And you also have to make sure that you stay in the same area the whole time. Otherwise, it'll ruin the experience. So don't go flailing your arms around when you're playing this game. You have to be very careful. But setting up this game and seeing the Impulse armor show up in front of me, goddamn, that was something.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Also, you actually see your arms in the game. You know, the thing that a lot of VR games don't have. But this is the kind of game that really needs arms. Iron Man VR uses your arms and hands to its fullest. You're going to be using them a lot, and you're going to be standing up a lot, because this game requires a lot of focus. Flying the Impulse armor suit for the first time was quite something. Then seeing the intro credits roll as I headed toward the Malibu mansion,
This is great.
I really enjoyed it. Being able to fly up and down, left and right, and turn around in the Impulse armor suit was easy enough, but it was repulsor blasting and punching that really had me thinking about how I need to play this game. Having to fly while punching or firing at the same time is kinda difficult, but you don't have to do it the whole time. You can just stop flying and fire your repulsor blasts at enemies just fine, but just be wary of how high you are. Not that there's a whole lot of fall damage to worry about in this game, at least in the demo, that is. This is only one portion of the full game, so I'm not going to judge the whole thing just yet until I've played the entire experience this July.
Fucking shit. I don't want that in my helmet. Alright.
But I will say that this experience was probably one of the most promising in a long time for VR. At least for PlayStation. When it comes to PC VR, there is no equal than Half-Life Alyx, but when it comes to PlayStation, I think this is going to be one of the games that really sells it for people. Being able to fly around, I'm going to be saying that a lot. Being able to fly around as Iron Man in this game is like a dream come true. It's a little finicky and takes a bit getting used to, but when you get used to it, you'll be just fine. Just be careful of bouncing off of objects, because that happens.
Okay.
So the first start of the game is you testing out your armor, going through a speed run, and boosting your way through it, and firing and punching different objects. Then the main story part begins. About a few years later, you're in your private Tony Stark jet, looking at some notes, and you got your briefcase next to you. You can actually pick up the little thing next to the briefcase, which I think was pretty neat. And opening up the suitcase to reveal the Impulse armor, oh man. I know it doesn't look that great with the recording that I got from the playthrough, but looking at it in VR was something else. Familiar characters from the Iron Man universe include Friday and Pepper Potts, who make a big appearance in this demo. But the main antagonist, at least I believe is the main antagonist of this game, Ghost, also appears in this demo. It's literally just the first level of the game where you get fired at, you fall out of a plane, you put on the armor, and you have to save the plane from crashing into a populated area. Pretty much Iron Man 3-ish, except you actually don't have to save a whole lot of people, just Pepper Potts. Friday's character design is a bit striking, because I never really saw her as a hologram, in a way, but it's nice to see her get some sort of character design. Pepper Potts is, you know, Pepper Potts as usual. And in the playthrough, I just decided to, like, move around my body as sort of a role play, as I like to do in some VR games. I do it in Alyx, and I do it in this one.
We're put here to handle my unpaid parking tickets.
I was gonna ask if there are any more of them.
There are glove boxes full of them, that's not the point. The company turned a corner years ago. We're a force for good in this world. I want you to get that message out there.
It's nice to actually see your arms and hands move around with you. It makes it feel more immersive that way. Falling out of the sky was a bit jarring at first, but I got used to it after a bit. You just have to remember that it's in front of you, not below you. If you have that in your head, you'll be just fine. Putting on the Impulse armor while falling down reminds me heavily of the Extremis armor in Iron Man 3, and also the armor from Iron Man Armor Adventures. Has anyone ever watched that show? It's actually really good. And also the design of the Impulse armor takes a bit of inspiration from Iron Man Armored Adventures. Surprising, isn't it? Seeing the HUD of Iron Man in front of you is definitely something. I don't know what most of the shit means on the screen except for speed and altitude and the stuff below you, but seeing Ghost interfere with your HUD and messing with your controls really brought a sense of imminent danger. But not too much, because there isn't really any worry of falling to your death in this demo, so if you have that in the back of your head, you don't need to worry about that. Aiming your repulsors is easy with the reticle that shows up when you try to aim them at enemies. If you're not able to lock on, no need to worry, you can just readjust your hands until they're in place. And punching enemies in the air was definitely satisfying. This isn't the best VR demo I've played, but it's one of the most interesting. And the fact that this is a game that is a full VR game and not just a free experience, it makes me more interested in playing it in the long run. Instead of just, swinging around New York as Spider-Man for hours on end in the same map forever and ever in the Spider-Man Far From Home VR experience, you're actually playing a real story mode that's original and not based on any other existing material. Something that Marvel games are starting to do these days, which I'm very happy about. Seeing original interpretations of these characters and you becoming those characters is a dream come true. I think that creativity drives games forward, and being able to create your own story when you're making a game based off of a popular franchise or character is a breath of fresh air, and I'm really glad that the people at Camouflage were able to have said freedom. But this game actually started out as a PC game, but once Sony got on board, it turned into a PlayStation VR exclusive. So I don't see this game coming to PC anytime soon. But if you happen to have a PSVR, I definitely recommend that you try this demo out. And if you don't want to buy the full game, that's fine. I did. Still waiting for it to be playable. And if you download the demo, you get another piece of armor to have in the main game. This demo doesn't have the armor customization segment in it, but I can't wait to see what that's like in the full game. Only a few days to wait. Iron Man VR comes out July 3rd, and if you're wanting to buy this game, I may or may not suggest that you wait. I pre-ordered the Digital Deluxe Edition and I'm waiting for it to finally be playable, but if you pre-order the Digital Deluxe Edition, you'll get some exclusive armor, and the soundtrack, and a few other things. So if you have the time, I recommend that you try this demo out and see it for yourself. It might not be your cup of tea, but it's certainly mine. I'm not too excited about this game, I'm still very cautious about certain things, but I have a feeling that I'm going to enjoy myself. And I heard that the campaign is only about 8 or so hours, so it will be a bit of a short experience that I'll probably be able to complete in like a day, but I think it would be worth it. However, if you have trouble wearing a VR headset for an extended period of time, you can always take breaks. This level wasn't too long or too short, it was just the right amount of time for me. And wearing a PlayStation VR in this kind of weather is, well, stressful. So, being able to play this and get out as fast as I did get in was a relief. I'm not going to be looking at this game in full until after I've reviewed The Last of Us Remastered and The Last of Us Part 2. So don't expect a review of this until late July, probably. I want to be able to get some reviews done in July, at least 4 or 5 reviews, this being one of them. So, look forward to the review of this game, but for now, I think this demo's worth your time. But if you're a big fan of Iron Man, I think you will definitely enjoy this game. So if you're able to, check out the demo when you get a chance. I think you'll enjoy it. There's also some combat challenges you'll be able to do once you've beaten the demo, but I haven't gotten to those yet. I will get to those after I get this out. But, until next time, thanks for watching, have yourselves a wonderful day, and remember, Josh Keaton was better as Spider-Man.